Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Girl chat.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's get into it.
This one is a good one. And it is great for all of our girlfriends because, quite frankly, I'm tired of explaining this to them. So, first up, an article on the website I Heart Intelligence made a pretty bold claim, and I wanted to get your ladies' opinion on it, okay? All right, it said flat out, if a man doesn't pursue you, he's not into you. Adding that if a man wants to be with you, nothing is going to stop him from doing so. So, ladies, do you think that this is tough truth for some women out there that they need to hear?
I think it's true and false. I agree and I disagree. So I agree with the idea that any man that wants to be with you will absolutely try his very, very best to be with you. Will go to the windows, to the walls.
The wall.
Now, where I disagree is that every single man that is interested in you will pursue you. I don't believe that to be true. There are plenty of men that will be interested in you, but just might be too insecure to pursue you. There are men that you catch their eye, they're intrigued, they're interested. Oh my God, they wish for that chance to get to talk to you, to be with you, but they do not always pursue you. So they don't.
If you have given them, this is what I always tell my girlfriends. If you have given them the signs, because sometimes guys need to see it clearly, like meaning you have flirted with them, you have somewhat kind of asked them out to hang out, and you have called them, you have texted them, right?
They still maybe don't think they're worthy of you. Maybe they're still too insecure. Maybe they recognize that, wow, you're just
you are like, I like you.
They can still feel like you just might be too much for them.
But then that ends up not being about you anyway. Like I always say, a revolutionary woman's love will not be won passively. So it also depends on the type of woman you are, and the type of person you are. Like I know some women who are definitely like, no, like I like to holla, like that's fine. Like, and I know I've had to become somebody who, if someone is pursuing me, I actually have to be less like trigger responsive, and be a little bit more, I don't even know if patient is the word, but just a little bit more like open to like, okay, let's take our time and pace it. But sometimes, Tam, with that whole like pursuing you thing, I feel like sometimes in men who are like very pursuant, we misnomer confidence. We misnomer arrogance with confidence.
Yes,
so we'll think like, oh, you know what I mean? We'll think like, like they're really bad at it. And listen, sometimes it's like, that's not even that they're really that interested in you. They're chasing something for their own ego.
Oh. And I'm going to tack on something to what Adrian said. I know that Adrian, you put the guys who may really be into you, but doesn't pursue you just means that they're too insecure, but that doesn't mean they're not into you. Is that right? Did I paraphrase that?
They could like you. They could think you're beautiful. They could think you're intelligent. They just maybe don't think they're capable of being your man.
I think, and this is an assumption, but I would judge that if a guy was really into me, really wanted me, but he was too insecure and he was too bottled up with himself, which is a little bit of what Amanda said, it's not about me, and he can't get over it, then that means he's really not that into me. And the reason why I say that is because every single one of us here, there is something that you wouldn't normally do, but you wanted it so bad, you went outside your norm. And that is a person who will pursue. So he wasn't that into you.
I will say this.
I agree with you, Jeannie.
I've had real fear. That's like saying, like, okay, that's
so black and white. But I feel like if a man wants you and he's looking to date or just to, like hang out, and you've given him the signs, you've let him feel comfortable,
the green light.
Because it's the ego that you're protecting, right? Like you let them know that like you're not going to fall on their face. So come on with it.
Yes. Wait, you guys have never seen a man, been super attracted to him, really thought he was dope, and just you're afraid? You guys have never been afraid of something? I'm trying to even see. It's definitely my number one love. It's what I'm most passionate about. But I don't do it because I'm scared.
But if you sat back and you let that one get by, if you let him pass you and you thought about him so much, you really wanted, you thought he was the one and you let him pass him by, he didn't move you enough to pursue him. He didn't move you enough. So I don't think that that's the one.
But there's some people that are shy, Jeannie. There are some people, and that includes men. There are some shy men.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
But if you are like,
okay, even to Jeannie's point, like you have to at a certain point recognize what are the things about you that are getting in the way of the things that can elevate you. And sometimes that may be shyness. And so it's up to you to define, it's up to you to devise it's up to you to create the devices that get around the things that get in the way of what's best for you. Like I will say this, like my ex, we met across the room. We had like a nonverbal conversation across the room. And then he basically like got shy and left. And he said when he got outside, he was like, this shy stuff ain't gonna help you. This ain't gonna get you nowhere. and he turned around and came back in. Now it was the most awkward ask for my number I've had. Is it possible if perhaps maybe I could possibly?
He was
over the hump. But he was into you, Amanda. He was that into you that nothing could get in the way. And that's what we're talking about, Adrienne. When you're that into somebody, you'll pursue it, no matter what. Even the shy
but I think that was in him. He was shy, but he ain't that shy. He made it do what it do. What I'm saying is, also as women, we need to recognize the kind of men that we want pursuing us.
Yes.
That's important as well. Like, I have friends that actually don't like guys that will pursue them. Like, they literally want to be the ones that pursue. Yeah. So they seek out shy, laid back, quiet, in the cut type dudes because they don't want the rah. They don't like that. True. They like the quiet dude who's chilling in the back.
They don't want the what? They don't want the
rah. Yo, ma, what's up? What it do, mamacita? Like,
but isn't there a middle ground?
It doesn't have to be all that.
There's a middle ground.
But it could be a guy that has or they also don't want slick. What's up? They don't want that either. They want guys that are in the cut, chilling, and they want to be the girls that pursue shy dudes. That also is a thing, you guys. Now, if you want a man that's going to pursue you and go after you, then you don't want the shy dude. But that doesn't mean he's not into you. That's all I'm saying. That doesn't mean he's not attracted.
I'm going to have to counter because I think there's a medium, yo. Like, I think there's a happy medium between like I don't necessarily want the dude that's coming up to me like, yo, suavemente. Yeah. Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need all that. But I also don't want the dude who I have to be like, yo, I don't want the dude who I have to go up to and be like, yo, suavemente, what's up, homie? Like, you feeling this? You like this? What's this?
And you have the right, like, as a woman, you could say, I need a man that has the we can't say that has the genitalia, the nerve to get up and
before we end this conversation, because I do have lots of single girls and I want to make sure that I'm giving them the right information. And I'm hearing something new from you, Adrienne, and I want to be willing to open to learning about that. So you're saying if one of my friends calls this guy who she likes, texts maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4 times, letting him know that she likes him, that she wants to hang out, and he doesn't pursue her, there's a chance that he still may like her?
No, that's
this is different. We're talking about someone on the other side of the room not coming up to you. You have this person's number, you have access to them, and they don't respond. Okay. Watch the movie. He's just not that into you. You are not the exception.
I just want to make that 100% clear.
You just not his type. He think you a tree monster. So.
Oh my God.
Yes. But the guy who's not going to make any effort to discomfort himself, the guy that doesn't make a little effort to discomfort himself in order to pursue the one thing he wants, he didn't want it that bad. I promise that.
All right.
Guys, if you're having trouble dating, would you actually admit it? Because that's a hard thing to admit. Some could view that as a failure. Well, a recent article of Psychology Today decided to take a look at why people don't share their failures. Now, it's easy to post and celebrate our wins. Obviously, we see that all the time on the gram. But why is it that we're so scared to talk about our losses? And you guys, studies are suggesting that people may avoid sharing their failures because they don't understand the value doing so might have to others. So ladies, do you think it's important to share your failures as much as it is to share your success? Or more than your success?
It depends on the failures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
depends on the failures. Like,
I had a hard time with this study. I find it strange that it makes other people feel better to know others are failing.
It's a sense of relatability, Adrian. I think it's very important to relate to somebody. Like, for example, I was listening to a podcast with Steve Madden, and Steve Madden is such a huge billion-dollar industry of a business. But when you listen to his words of how he started out, he was absolutely in a bad upbringing. He didn't have a lot of money or any influence, and he worked for knockoff stores, all knockoff stores, and he learned the tricks of the trade. And when he grew his success to make the shoes, kind of that are inspired by big brands, he then got arrested for a huge laundry fraud for a few years. So Steve Madden, while we know Steve Madden was Steve Madden, spent about 4 or 5 years.
We all know he went to jail.
He was Ozark. We didn't know Steve Madden was Ozark.
Right,
I didn't know he went to jail.
Yeah, but the thing is, when I listen to the story, I'm not glad that he went to jail, but it makes you relate to your own journey to know that people who are successful did not live an easy, perfect life, that there are mistakes, there are things that, so it makes you feel hopeful, actually.
We're talking specifically about going on thing and being like, so today, or however you would share your failure, like, just a dumb thing that I could think of right now. Like, a business failure is also different than like a life failure.
A personal failure, yeah.
Like, it's two different things. Like, I could share with you the fact that, like, I had no product on my website during Christmas time last year because we sold out and we didn't think ahead and think that people were going to buy us. Okay, that's a business failure, and I could share that, and that would be fine. And I'd feel easier doing that than sharing like personal failure. Yeah,
but that's about like your privacy, and that's like your, like, I mean, to me, like what Jeannie was saying about process, like when I read this, like it made me think about as an artist, like as an artist and creative, we get such a disservice when we don't share and critique constructively, and like, especially like I look at like Black art in particular, like, so there's so much pressure to just support without critiquing in any kind of way that you end up lessening the value and the ability to elevate. So we have to be able to discuss like, well, this was a win, but this was a fail. And then say why. But I hear you, like, but there's so many trolls.
And I think it's also different between having a conversation between us on a personal level where I could share my failures with you guys on a personal level. I just don't personally think that that's what I need to be doing on social media.
I mean, I'll talk personal for a second. I follow this. You were talking about people talking about their failures on Instagram, social media. There is this Instagram, this motherhood Instagram that I follow. It's called Motherly.
I followed it because of you.
Yes, there are moms on there, and I love these freaking pictures where they're crying, mascara like all the way, down their face, saying, you know what, today was hard. I felt like I failed as a mother. And to me, I was like that. I was like, I saw it and I was like, oh my God, thank you. I'm not alone. I know that sometimes when you look at these Pinterest moms, you're like, oh my God, I wish I could be like that, make the perfect freaking lunches and have all my kids eat their vegetables. But there's something relatable and you feel normal when you see a mom kind of just feel what you felt like. Hey, there are days you fail and it's totally okay. So that site alone helps me. And you follow it too.